Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and my little goblin friends. I am here to tell you we have found some new spice. Now, if you like spice like I do, I have a hot Latina wife, so you know I do. That was cringe, I'm sorry. We're playing Mekk-Knights. So the deck is Mekk-Knights with a small Sky Striker package, with Adventure package, with the DPE package. We got so many packages, you can call us UPS. So the deck looks like a mess, but actually works pretty good. You know how sometimes when you throw a bunch of spices and random ingredients together, and then you fucking eat, let's say it's a sandwich, and then you take a bite into it, and you're like, damn, this shit slaps. That's kind of how this deck is. We edited a bit on stream, and what we ended up doing, because we ended up cutting down some of the hand traps to put in more kaijus. So now we have a total of 4 kaijus in the deck. Before we were just running the 1 lava golem. This is a going second deck. If you never played Mekk-Knights before, Mekk-Knights require your opponent to have cards on their side of the field. So the deck is inherently going second. Now, what do we have for going second? We have 2 lightning storms. We have 2 widow anchors. We have 3 impermanents. If you're not counting, that's 7. We got 3 forbidden droplets. That's 10. We got the 4 kaijus. That's 14. And then you can argue that all the Mekk-Knights are going second cards. So we got like half the deck. And again, it's 50 cards. We have like 30 engines in it. Relax. We have like half the deck going second. So it's pretty solid. The extra deck, I actually would not even touch the extra deck. All the cards, I've used, I think, every single card in this extra deck. Yes, I have used every single card in this extra deck. You can make a relative argument for Mekk-Knight, but I still don't even think that's worth it. Because you end up going into Lib more than Mekk-Knight, but it's neither here or there. Everything else, though, the deck works pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So the whole basis of this deck, obviously, if you're going second, you break your opponent's board, and we get incremental advantage with Purple Knight and Blue Knight. And if you know what Purple Knight does, you banish Purple Knight from the field, or you banish any Mekk-Knight from the field, and then you return it the next turn. And when you do that, you can add 1 Mekk-Knight monster from your deck except Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall. So, if we play Nightfall, we usually go for Blue Sky, and we try and set up a big draw. So how Blue Sky works, if 2 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon it, and this card allows us to add Mekk-Knight monsters with different names, except Mekk-Knight Blue Sky, to your hand equal to the number of opponent's cards in a column. So you can draw a max of 3 cards off this, which is nuts. I do it in the video. So you might be wondering, why do we have this random Orcus package? Well, if you didn't know, Girsu is a Mekk-Knight. So we could do full Orcus with Girsu just off of Blue Sky searching. So that's kind of how the Orcus package works. And the Orcus package is actually pretty damn good too, because it gives you outs. It gives you outs to some decks that you might not have an out. But yeah, the deck performed awesome. I'll talk more about it at the recap, but enjoy the games. Some of the games are pretty wild. I'm gonna let you know now. A little announcement before you guys watch this video. I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing, and if you aren't subscribed, please do so. It really helps my channel out, and we got some good content here. I also want to say I wish you guys can join the Discord. Please join it if you haven't, because we are planning to do some pretty cool tournaments coming up, and the Discord's going to be the place to really organize a lot of this. So join the Discord if you haven't, and subscribe if you haven't. Follow me on Twitch. That's all I'm asking. Let's go to the games. Hello, my little goblins. What are we playing against? It's Diego. You think we're going to find some boots and Dora? Oh, God. Seems like Diego went a dark path in his life. And since he went that dark path, we're going to have to put him down. We're going to have to put him down because Dora would want it done this way. Dora would say, put that boy in the ground. Now say it in Spanish. And that's what we're going to do. So this guy is Curse Edland. We used our Ash on it because I didn't want him just searching out something. I don't know. I'm afraid of like the golden Eldin. And this guy, Dogmatic, things aren't looking good for us right now. You get Dogmatica punished. And he sends Wild Pegasus. And we're going to draw our Purple Nightfall. So, Purple Nightfall, I want you guys to pay attention to Purple Nightfall. This card is a fucking monster of a card. We activate Max C because we're really not going to get much value out of it. Dude, Purple Nightfall is an absolute fucking tank of a card. It gets us so much card advantage, it's crazy. Actually, just crazy. So the Torrential Tribute, which is actually good for me, because this Called by the Grave is looking extra juicy. But Diego has a Sixth Sense. So Diego spent a lot of time with Dora, and I think all the adventures they went on gave him a Sixth Sense about card games. And he's fucking... Dude, he is not activating that Eldritch. Dude, I am waiting for him to activate either the Eldritch in his hand or the Eldritch in the grave. But then he plays this Wandering Griffin, so I'm like, okay, I have to Call by the Grave now. Because... It's like, what the hell? This guy's got the big chicken from Dora the Explorer helping him. And then... He bounces my Imperm back, which is kind of annoying, because that means his Wandering Griffin is going to get some type of value. So, it is what it is. We draw our Wandering Griffin of our own, which is actually not bad. Our Purple Knight comes back. We don't want Purple Knight dying. That is the #1 thing here. So, we're doing everything to protect Purple Knight, which is why I do not care about throwing Griffin into his Griffin. And our opponent doesn't seem to give a shit either. So he's going to activate his Griffin. And we do this specifically because it's so good getting all this value. Look at this value. I'm going to play Blue Knight, Blue Sky. I get another Purple Knight. Now my opponent has to deal with rotating Purple Knights. That's kind of triggering, right? So Blue Sky's going graveyard. We're going into Verte Anaconda. We're going to play our Mekk-Knight as well, the purple. And we go into Phoenix Enforcer. Now, in hindsight, I learned about a ruling that I was a little stupid on. I knew he had Wild Pegasus in the graveyard. I personally did not know... for the life of me, that apparently one of the rulings for Yu-Gi-Oh is you can't activate Called by the Grave or like DPE's effect in the damage step. So like since Wild Wind Pegasus activates in the damage step, it goes around and I can't actually activate anything with my DPE. Like I can't respond with my DPE towards this. So if I was playing this smart and not like an idiot, right? Not like a stupid idiot, I probably should have just DPE, popped the Adventurer token, or popped the Fateful Adventurer. Or I should have attacked with DPE first, use DPE's effect, pop DPE, pop the Fateful Adventurer, and then attack with Mekk-Knight. But since I'm an idiot, and I didn't know it worked like this, I get punished. So I'm showing this... because this is a fault on my own. I'm showing this to you guys instead of being like, no, I'm the master of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm showing this so you guys don't make the same mistake. Alright? You can laugh at the fat man, but learn from the fat man. Put some respect in the fat man's name, too. Got my eyes on you. Alright, so we actually... I wanted to actually phase out this Mekk-Knight, but if we did that, he had lethal. We were just dead. So we decided against that. We like to live. So we play this token collector. Things are looking rough, by the way. Looking rough. You might be asking, Fatsoid, how the hell do you get out of this? And who said I do? Who said I do get out of this? That's you thinking I do. So we go into Lib. He solemn strikes me. Almost no hope is alive, but remember we have Destiny DPE's OP. So we get to draw 2 cards. We add the blue sky. Blue sky summons. We get another purple knight. This is, dude, Mekk-Knights are awesome, dude. They're so much fun to play. Man. Now we go into another Lib, but now we have this World Legacy Succession, right? And we know that last card he has is most likely the card that lets you summon Eldritch. So now we go into access code, and Lib gets to activate her effect. And her effect, the way it works, is you get to, it's non-targeting, send to deck. So he activates Sanguine, but beautiful thing about planning ahead, we have a light, a dark, and a earth. So pop, pop, pop goes a weasel, and then we get to say goodbye to Diego. How do you say goodbye in Spanish? Hasta la vista, baby? I don't know. I should know, but I don't. Ciao! Alright, we're here for game 2, and we are on the draw again, because we like being on the draw. Look at those 2 beautiful little sexy blue knights. God, they're so hot. So sexy. Look at them. The blue knight. What was your favorite Power Ranger? Which Power Ranger did you want to fucking rail? Tell me in the comments. For me, it was always the Black Knight. No, I'm kidding. He was a good looking guy too, but don't swing that way. Nothing wrong with it though. I say, wasn't the pink one hot? I think the pink one was hot. I don't remember. I thought, wasn't it racist though? Didn't they make the yellow ranger like fucking Asian or some shit? They like matched everyone with the colors. And then it got to the point where like people really were pointing it out. So I think they had to like think like, oh, we can't make like the black ranger a black guy anymore. We'll make the white ranger. Like, did they ever do that? Where they like just started picking random Power Rangers. Our opponent's just making a Sword Soul board, so this is what we have to do while we're waiting for it. Cast. I think there's a ton of people in the cast. There's no way I'm gonna be able to pick this out. Oh, here's a good image. Okay, so yeah, the Yellow Ranger was Asian. She a baddie too? The Pink Ranger's a baddie. Yeah, they made the black guy was the Black Ranger. That's kind of racy. Not gonna lie. that's kind of racy. I think this came out 1993 though. That's kind of a while ago. Oh, it's our turn. We're playing against Sword Soul. So we're gonna have to try and play through. I actually think, like, if we're going back to the main topic of everything, right? If he actually made Baron DeFleur instead of this, instead of Qing Ying here, is it Qing Ying? What the hell is this name? Yeah, Qing Ying. Okay. Instead of this, I actually think we lose. But since he doesn't, it's one less negate we have to play against. So, pretty much the goal of the game is to make him waste all his negates, all his cards, so then we can blue sky him. Because he set up a beautiful blue sky. Because right now our opponent does not know we're playing Mekk-Knights. It looks like we're playing Sky Striker. It looks like we're playing Sky. And then he sees the Mekk-Knight blue sky come out of nowhere. Oh, man. I'm surprised they didn't have a purple Power Ranger. They probably did in like a later season. So, this Call by the Grave is actually really annoying. So, I'm going to tell you right here. The one misplay I did here, the one big misplay I did, was Um, when he called by the Grave the World Legacy card, I actually what I needed to do was World Legacy success, Blue Knight over here. Because if I do that, you're gonna see I'm gonna have to waste my Purple Knight because I didn't do that, which is kind of unfortunate. We're just recycling Girsu back into the deck. You go into Girsu, that's gonna get rid of one of his cards. And then we go into Morningstar. So we actually had to go into Morningstar here, right? We had to go into Morningstar instead of Lib because we didn't have a World Legacy card in the graveyard. So this deck, you really have to pay attention to what what's your surroundings and how you're going to get to the next play. That was a big mishap on my part because now I had to like kind of go through a hoop to get into Lib again, you know? So we go into Lib, and our beautiful baby girl Galatea goes into access code. And Lib sends that back. And then we go to poppin'. We just pop his two big cards here. Honestly, probably should have just popped this and then attack this. Do some damage. But honestly, I was just happy I broke the board. And our opponent top decks literally like one of the best cards he could top deck. Like I'm talking about literally. This is why I'm talking about it was literally the best card he could top deck, right? Because this lets him go into Vishuda, right? And now he has follow-up plays with Ashuna. And I have no way of interacting with World Legacy. So what this card does is I can pick up one of my Mekk-Knights that are level 5 or higher, and I can special summon it to the field, and any monster effect that activates in the same row as a Mekk-Knight, the monster effect gets negated. So this was a monster negate on a stick with a resurrection, and now everything gets countered. You get what I'm saying? So, like, it was probably the best draw. Because if he drew any of the... If he drew, like, any other starter or something like that, I actually have counterplay to it. This I had zero. Like, absolutely no counterplay. So, this is kind of annoying. Again, he goes into Boxia. Really bad for me. But he does a kind of an odd... I thought this was a little odd in my opinion. I'm not sure why he didn't go for Taie. But then I looked at his extra deck and he only has one Yugioh. So him having one Yugioh actually makes him lose this game. Like I don't even activate. The reason why I waited is because I want to get the search effect off of the Mekk-Knight purple. See? That's the reason why I waited. Going down to 900 is not that big of a deal. I say that, and then he just long yawns me and deals 1200. That shit would be funny. Alright, so we got Girsu. Now we get the combo off. Yeah. Draw one. Nightmare Unicorn. Thank you. So, I think these plays were fine. Mainly because I didn't really have the space. But you could have definitely argued for going into Apollosa to be safer. I just wanted to make the clock as fast as possible. Our opponent shows he has 10 Spirit, but he has no follow-up. And he just loses. He had no way of going into another Link combo. So that's why we got the win there. Alright, we're showing this game because this game, my opponent had like the coolest fucking deck. So we're gonna see it because I thought this deck was pretty awesome. He's playing like a deep sea deck. So this is like, if you guys don't know how these cards work, so Deep Sea Minstrel, you get to look at my hand and then I don't even know if you look at the hand. Yeah, look at your opponent's hand, which is insane to begin with. Look at my hand. I have 2 cards in hand. Deep Sea Minstrel, I get this card at the end of the turn, but you're going to see what our opponent does. But isn't this crazy? So this motherfucker, dude, he called by the graves my water enchantress. He goes into Dragonite, right? He brings back Jet Synchron. I'm like, what's he going for 7? And then he goes into Deep Sea Prima Donna. Prima Donna gives me back my water enchantress that is called by the grave. So I can't even fucking use it, right? And then Prima Donna has another effect, if you're curious. So Prima Donna's other effect is when you do this, when you Synchro Summon, you can send 1 banished opponent card your opponent owns back into their deck. So this card I was supposed to get back into my hand end of turn, this guy just cucked me out of. Which is pretty hilarious. And then our opponent goes into Baron de Fleur. So now he has 3 negates. I have two cards, 3 cards I can go into. No, actually, 3 cards I can go into, and then Water Enchantress that's undercalled by the grave. So we're gonna speed through it because we lose this one. I just, for the sake of it, I'm just gonna be like pot of pee. And then he negates everything. And I just concede. Well, I thought that was really cool. And props to my opponent, ... That was a cool deck. Hello, Darkness, my old friend. We're going second again. Which is what we want. We actually want that for this deck. But, dude, our opponent makes the most zero-headed play I've ever seen. So, I guess it works in the long run. But he cross-out designators fucking Robin. So he puts Robin in the fucking banish zone. And then he can't get it back though. But he does that. He actually does have follow-up with Strix. So overall it does work out for him. And he has Book of Moon. He obviously has Book of Moon for my Imperm too. So I guess it's one of those get good moments. But I just thought it was hilarious. Like, I was like kind of confused. But he's going to be able to get it next turn anyway, right? So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. They play set 2. We know one of the cards is a trap. We draw a Foolish Burial, which is pretty much a Water Enchantress. And then he activates this. I thought he did this super premature. But it really doesn't matter because we have the Widow Anchor. So we're able to snip that in the bud. Now, I already think this is an Imperm. Because the only reason I know this is an Imperm without even doing anything is because this deck, most of the traps are either that Flonderis trap that we just seen or it's Imperm because they run it for the mirrors. So, we're going to do what we got to do. And I actually feel a little... So, I feel very stupid here. Because if we played this correctly, we could have just won instantly. Because this, we know it's an Imperm, right? Like, in hindsight, this is an Imperm. We could have just Draco-backed the end pen. And then summon all our monsters and attack. And we had lethal. We had like 300 points over lethal. But I do this little fancy play where I summon Water Enchantress. I go into Artemis. And then I set up a link zone so I can go into Blue Sky. But I set Blue Sky in defense like an idiot. And then he imperms it. And I'm just like, in my head, like, once an imperm happened, even though I knew there was an imperm, but you don't 100% know. It's like, I was just so annoyed. I was like, I just missed out on lethal. So, what do you do when you fuck up lethal, right? You got 4 monsters here. You're going to Appaloosa, because Appaloosa absolutely butt fucks floateries. He has one card to block me. One card to block me. Guess what? We're just gonna negate. Negate. Goodbye, negate. He gets Barrier Statue for some godforsaken reason. And then we just like, okay, our turn. I guess we're just gonna beat the shit out of you, I guess. We add another right. We actually add the right. Then we get Effect Veiled. We have to negate that. So we add another right because we're planning on getting rid of this token. At the end of this turn. So we're going to summon Ash. Ash is fine in the hand, but you have to remember our opponent has ways of blocking it. So there's literally no point in me keeping Ash. I guess maybe for a Terraform. That's about it. And GG, we win. For the final match, we have one of those games. It is a game where we Ash Blossom their Terraform, and they cry. They cry. Why do they cry out to you, Fabian? I mean, Fatsoid. You guys already know that's my name anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point. I say it enough on stream. So, we're just doing basic adventure shit. Gonna pop that back row. Play this Wandering Griffin. Fusion Destiny. In my mind, I can't kill him right now. So we just want to go for as much damage as possible. And the most damage I could possibly do is that. And we're going to set a droplet. And this is one of the funnier games, right? Because we set up all this nice stuff. We get Lava Golemed. Numeron Wall. Numeron Wall is awesome because you can't react to it with Ash Blossom. Pretty fun. And then our opponent is going to attack. And we just droplet it for 1. And he's at 1500. So goodbye. Alright, let's go to the recap. Alrighty, here we are. Here we'll give the results of the games. And I'm going to actually apologize ahead of time because I didn't count all the games that I was playing. I played way more games than I thought I was going to play. So I end up just counting all the ones I can count on the match history. So I did the calculation and we actually hit 70%, which I felt a little high. But we ended up climbing. We climbed with the deck. I swear to God, I thought this was going to be like a 50% win rate deck. Because I felt like I was winning and then losing and winning and losing. But I went on like pretty significant win streaks. I went on like pretty long win streaks with the deck. You got to remember, all this is happening in Diamond. Where a lot of the games are very coin flippy to begin with. Sometimes when we go second, we don't draw any of our going second cards. So it's one of those too. One thing I will say about the deck is I think the deck's good. I think that if we were going to remove a single card from the deck, I don't know if I'm just really unlucky, but like the one Token Collector just doesn't do it. I think Token Collector is a good card, but I literally have never drawn this card against anyone using any tokens. It's kind of sad. So maybe if you're just unlucky, just don't play Token Collector because you'll never have it when you need it. But the card is good. The card's really good right now, in my opinion, because everyone's playing Adventurer, right? Everyone's playing Adventurer, which means everyone's playing the tokens. And guess what? Wandering Griffin does nothing when it has no token. And a lot of people are playing Sword Soul. And this deck shuts down Sword Soul. And even if you want to talk about Pranks, the spell, a lot of times when they finish off their combo, they have to use the Prank Kids token to finish off the combo to go into Bow Wow. So that actually stops the Prank Kids token too. So it's a very good placed card right now. And if I could find space to put the card to 2 or 3, I think it's probably worthwhile, but I literally do not know what to cut. I was thinking maybe you can cut the Sky Striker engine, but I actually really like the engine. The engine's very unique, and it does a good job at like first of all, it confuses the hell out of your opponent, because like when you play Sky Striker Engage, they're like, what is this man doing? I also think that it's good for later in the game. Like if we're in mid game and I top deck Sky Striker Engage and I have like my board's wiped, I can, or even if I have a Purple Knight, like Purple Knight removes itself from the game, or DPE, they remove themselves from the game, so it's still easy to activate. And then I get to draw an extra card, so it's like a 2-for-1, and I get a Widow Anchor and another card that I can combo off with. It's pretty nuts. I like it a lot, and I think it gets better the more you play the deck, the more you actually like it in the deck. A lot of the times when you do combo off with this card, you are going to, let's say you have Engage in hand. You play Engage, you get Hornet, and then you play Hornet, you go into Hayate, and whatever else you're going to do with your board. But if you just go into Hayate and you attack over your opponent, and you are going to send either most likely a Widow. You either send a Widow or you send the second Engage to the graveyard. Because if you don't have Widows in the deck, I actually think you send the second Engage. Because if you don't have Widows in the deck, Engage doesn't work, right? So I think you send the second Engage, and then you just go into Kagori and pick up one of the Engages, and you're already 2 spells into being able to get the extra draw, which again, card advantage, card advantage, card advantage. I'm a huge advocate of it. That's why I really like the Mekk-Knights. Enough talking about all that. Let's go over what I think this is out of 10. I think this deck is a 7.5 out of 10. I think there could be some cleanup. I think the deck's still really good, but like it needs cleanup. I think it has that factor too, where people aren't expecting Mekk-Knights. No one really plays around it. The only negative on the deck is like going first is like, unless you draw your adventure package, going first feels horrible, because you can't do, if you have like 3 Mekk-Knights in your hand and you're going first, you just lose. I mean, you don't lose right there most of the time, but like you don't do anything. You just pass, and that's not a good feeling. Now, out of a tier scaling, I would say this is in the rogue tier. Or if we're gonna be generous, I could say this is tier 3, but I think it's in the rogue tier. Like I said, I had a 70% win rate with it when I calculated my past whatever games in the match history, but that doesn't mean it's the best deck on the planet. I played other decks, especially in the past, that were like better than this. I actually think the Marine Cess deck I played in the last video is better than this. I actually think this deck's more fun though. This is more my pace with like how fun the deck is. But all that being said, I really like the deck. Can it hit Diamond 1? Yes, 100%. This deck could easily hit Diamond 1. Like I said, I was going on pretty big win streaks. I was going on pretty big win streaks by the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and goodbye.